Well, good evening and welcome to the Tasmanian Premier League show. Joining me as he does every week is co-host Walter Pless.
Good evening, Jeremy. How are you?
Not too bad, mate, and yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. A bit cold though.
And joining us in the hot seat tonight is a man who's played in both the Northern and the Southern Premier Leagues, but more importantly is the leading goal scorer down south, Ben Crosswell.
Hi Jeremy, how are you going?
Hi, Ben.
Nice to be here.
Great, Ben. Well, we've got a fair bit to get through, and the first match that we're going to take a look at is your mob up against Newtown Eagles last Friday night.
This is a game you had to win, Ben, and you certainly produced the goods with 2 goals. How did you see the game?
I thought Newtown played quite well, and they played quite well against us. We managed to score a few early goals and put pressure on them, but they came back and scored one late in the game. So we're happy to come back with to come away with the win against them.
Brett Pullen had an excellent first half, and he set up this goal for you, Ben.
Yeah, Brett's when he plays in the midfield for us, he's really one of our biggest weapons for the team. So when he plays well, we usually the whole team usually plays well when he does. So.
For you, how important is it to get an early goal, Ben? Does it give you that extra motivation?
It does. It gives me a lot of confidence, and I like to score early, although this year I've scored most of my goals in the second half. I think because sides tend to slip up a bit towards the end of the game, and I can take advantage of that and score goals.
Ben, Nathan Pitchford had an excellent game, and he denied you and a couple of the other players several times.
Yeah, Nathan's very athletic, moves extremely well, and I rate him as one of the best goalkeepers in the state, and he again performed really well on Friday night.
But at the other end, you've got Bubble in goals, and he's a very hard man to get the ball past.
He's a big man, and he's at training. I don't score many goals at training, and my confidence coming into the weekends games are usually not very high because he's very hard to score at training, but he's great to have in our team.
Ben, you've played in the Northern and the Southern Premier Leagues now. What are the differences between the two leagues?
I'd say the Northern League, when I used to play the Northern League, I had a lot more time on the ball, and it was obviously more physical. And in saying that, the Northern League is improving, and there are a lot more better players coming out of that league. But I think the main difference was there's a lot more time on the ball.
Walter, we saw during the match, Eagles did have a couple of sort of clear chances on goal and just maybe should have a little bit better finishing.
I think the players were shocked to sort of find themselves in that sort of scoring position, and when you're near the bottom of the table and you're not scoring many goals, Eagles haven't scored many at all. I think they've scored 5 in their 9 games. It is a lot to expect for some of these youngsters to score when they're given chances like that.
Ben, has Nick given you a licence to sort of shoot from anywhere? Because you just saw a nice long-range effort from you from right in the midfield.
Nick's been great with me this year. He's given me a lot of freedom up front to take on players and to give me that role where I can go ahead and take players on and try and score goals, which is my main thing I have to do, basically being up front. So he's been really good like that, and I owe a lot to him this year.
Well, you boys ended up easy, sort of 3-1 winners, and we'll just see what the coaches had to say post-match.
Yeah, look, I think especially in the first half we had lots of potential goals. A goal right near half-time when Stingers leant back a bit on his shot, kicked it wide. 2-1 half-time would have put the pressure on them. 3-0 down, it could have been any number, but they kept in there, kept going, scored a goal, and at the end probably could have sneaked 1 or 2 more, which would have made a real game of it.
Happy to get the 3 points, yes. Yeah.
You could have got a few more goals?
Yeah, I think we panicked in front of goal. Definitely missed our chances. But the first half I was happy with the penetration first half. Second half, probably the first 20 minutes, we pretty much had control of the game, but then we started to do the extra thing that we're not supposed to be doing, and took the extra touches.
Well, after some early hiccups, Ben, your season's definitely back on track, and you're a real chance to take out the Premier League title this year.
Yeah, the Hobart Zebras are doing extremely well this year, and it has been difficult. South and Olympic have been playing very well, but we're hoping we can be up there at the end of the year and take the title again.
The next game we're going to take a look at is the match between South Hobart and Metro, and no surprises there, South easy 5-0 winners.
Yes, they were only leading 1-0 at half-time, Jeremy, and Ken Morton had a few strong words to say to them at the half-time break. They picked up in the second half and won comfortably 5-0. It could have been a lot higher, but for some brilliant goalkeeping by Michael McKenna. Jonathan Lowe scored another hat-trick, and he's really amongst the goals this season, which is very good to see.
Well, he has been a surprise package because in recent years he's got the odd goal here or there, but he's been scoring on a regular basis.
Yeah, they've taken him from a wide midfield role to a striker's role, and he's certainly producing the goods, Jeremy. Metro hardly had any chances. They had about 4 shots in this game compared to South Hobart's 26. So they were up against it. The good thing for Metro is that they seem to have resolved a few matters, and some of the players that had threatened to leave are back, and that's excellent to see. The 2 Kents were playing again. Andrew Herring was back in the side, and when you're near the bottom of the table, it's very important to have good relationships amongst the players and the coach.
We just saw there Johnny Lowe put South into the lead with a bit of a scramble in the box, but he did get a little bit of his head to the ball and just managed to get it over the line.
Yes, hesitancy there at the back by Metro cost them dearly. How do you rate Metro, Ben?
When we played Metro, they were quite physical. I know that I was physically marked for the first sort of 10 to 15 minutes, but once you break them down, I found that maybe they lost their way a little bit and they get a bit frustrated, and I think for the first 15 they're quite good, but they sort of, I guess they lose their way a little bit towards the end of the game.
And you've played for South Hobart. How do you rate them? Are they in with a title chance?
I'd say it's the best South Hobart team that I've seen since I played senior soccer in Hobart. So I think they deserve to be the favourites to win it this year, and with the calibre of their squad, they deserve to be favourites. However, that doesn't mean too much in the long run.
In saying that, they do have a lot of big names and probably one of the best lists in the state, but still aren't winning matches convincingly. I mean, 5-0 against Metro is no great feat. It probably should have been a little bit more, Walter.
Yeah, it probably should have been, but there are positive signs. Ken Morton introduced a couple of youngsters as substitutes late in the game. One of them, Greg Downs, scored with his first touch. Damien Pearce, he played at the back when he was brought on. He did quite well. Julius Ross hasn't got a look in yet. He's scoring regularly in the reserves. He was on the bench today but didn't get a run, so there are hopeful signs there.
And I guess South are really going to miss Johnny Lowe when he leaves in the coming weeks.
Yeah, he and Tom Roach will be leaving to do some medical work overseas, some medical study. But they tell me that Morton has a few recruits in the pipeline. You're not one of them, are you, Ben?
No, I'm not.
You want to be lured back to the old club, mate, the old haunt?
I'm pretty happy with the Zebras at the moment, so I think I'll stay there.
Ben McKenna played well in this game, as we've said. Does he present any problems for you when you play them?
I know McKenna from when I was at the Knights, and he was playing for Olympic. He was terrific at Olympic, and he's obviously in a squad, in a team where a lot of goals are getting shot at towards him. He's doing the best he can. He's a terrific goalkeeper, but unfortunately he's probably a bit frustrated as there's a lot of goals going past him up at the club there.